Welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to unravel the ultimate, famously spooky quantum mystery, Schrödinger's cat. And hey, you don't need a PhD in physics to get this today. We're going to break it down so simply that you could literally explain it to your friends over coffee. We're looking at this classic puzzle through the lens of a really fascinating educational framework called the VVV-QMRF, registration layer. It's a bit of a mouthful, but this approach is perfectly designed to strip away all the mystical baggage from quantum mechanics and give us a crystal clear way to look at information versus reality. So get ready, because we're going to make sense of the quantum world using the exact same logic you use every single day.
Con mèo còn sống hay đã chết? Is the cat alive or dead? You've definitely heard this before. It's in movies, it's in sci-fi books, you've probably pondered it late at night. It's this wild idea that a cat in a box could somehow be magically hovering between life and death just because you haven't looked at it yet. I mean, it sounds completely crazy, right? Well, let's dive right into that box together and figure out exactly what is actually going on.
Section 1. Nghịch lý mèo Schrödinger. The Schrödinger's cat paradox.
Okay, let's look at the standard textbook paradox, and let's do it without getting bogged down in all the mystical jargon. So we've got a cat, a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, and a vial of poison, and they're all sealed securely inside a box. If the atom decays, the counter clicks, the poison is released, and the poor cat passes away. If the atom doesn't decay, the cat lives. But the common story tells us that until a human scientist actually opens the box and looks inside, the atom is in a quantum superposition of decayed and undecayed. And because of that, the whole box is entangled, and the cat is supposedly both alive and dead at the exact same time. Just think about how crazy that is. In our everyday world, things are either one way or the other, right? A coin is heads or tails. But quantum mechanics supposedly tells us this cat is in a magical blur of life and death until a human being opens the lid. Let's unpack why that confuses so many people.
Section 2. Sự tách biệt hai lớp, the two layers separation. To fix this massive headache, we're bringing in a brilliant architectural separation from the VVV-QMRF framework. It basically gives us two distinct symbols that represent two totally different layers. First, we have the Greek letter rho, which represents the physical layer. This is the actual, tangible physical world where quantum interactions happen. Standard quantum mechanics completely handles this layer. It's where the real physics takes place. Then we have K, the registration layer. This layer is entirely about whether a system has recorded the data or the outcome of that physical event. And here is the absolute kicker, so pay attention to this. The registration layer absolutely does not require human consciousness. The observer is simply an objective recording system, a computer's hard drive, a camera sensor, or even just a basic mechanical dial. They can all be valid registering systems. Human minds literally have no special physical power here.
Section 3. Ví dụ chuyển khoản ngân hàng. The bank transfer analogy.
To really lock this concept in, let's step away from quantum physics for a second and use a highly relatable everyday analogy. Think about a bank transfer. Let's walk through the steps. Step 1. The bank's servers process a transaction. Money is physically deducted from one account and added to another. That is our physical layer rho. It's an objective reality and it is complete. Step 2. The bank sends a signal, your phone receives it, and a notification pops up on the screen. Your phone's registration layer, K-phone, has now updated. Step 3. You are fast asleep in bed. You haven't read the notification at all, so your personal registration state, K-user, is null. It hasn't updated. Now, why is this so important? Because when you are asleep, the physical transaction, the rho layer, is 100% complete. The money is in the new account. The notification on your phone, the K layer, is just waiting there. Your personal awareness is completely detached from the physical reality of the servers. Just because you are asleep, it doesn't mean the physical money is hovering in some magical limbo state of both transferred and not transferred. Your lack of knowledge doesn't pause the physical universe.
Let's look at how this works mechanically. And hey, don't let the math scare you. Just think of this formula as a really basic power-up rule for information. Think of K before as your brain before checking your phone. It's your initial state of just not knowing. The O is the new outcome arriving, like that new text message popping up. UK is just the mechanical act of you taking that data in, like looking at the screen and reading it. And K after is your brain now possessing that updated information. It's just a mechanical rule saying your old memory plus new data equals an updated memory. It is purely about information processing. There's nothing mystical about it.
Section 4. Giải mã nghịch lý mèo. Decoding the cat paradox.
Armed with the clear logic of that bank transfer, let's bring it straight back to our sealed quantum box to finally solve this mystery. Let's look inside the box first. The Geiger counter is an actual, physical piece of macroscopic machinery. When the atom decays, the Geiger counter interacts with it. The Geiger counter is the observer here. It acts as an objective, local registering system. Its K-state updates locally right there inside the box. It recorded the physical event. Reality happened. VVV-QMRF calls this self-certifying registration. It doesn't need a human looking at it to validate that the measurement took place. Meanwhile, outside the box, the scientist simply hasn't opened the lid to update their own data yet. Their personal K-state is null. The scientist outside simply hasn't synced their data. We absolutely must stop confusing the external scientist's lack of information with the physical reality inside the box.
If you need one more way to picture this, think of the admissions letter analogy. We've all felt that anxiety of an unopened letter waiting for us. Imagine you have a university admissions letter sitting in your sealed mailbox. Just because that letter is unopened and you personally don't know the result, it absolutely does not mean you are simultaneously accepted and rejected. The physical result is already definitively printed on the paper inside. Your lack of information does not dictate physical reality. The 50-50 probability is just a mathematical model of your missing information. It's not a magic spell cast on the physical ink and paper.
Let's summarize how this all builds into a complete picture. If you take a look at the nature row, you'll see the core difference clearly laid out. Rho is the physical state, the event actually happening out there in the universe, while K is simply the recording of information. It's just the paper trail left behind. Looking at the symbols, we use Rho for physical reality and K for registration. And for the examples, Rho is the objective atom decaying, or the bank servers moving money. K is the Geiger counter clicking, your phone getting a text, or your brain finally learning the news. You really have to grasp that actual physical events and the data logs of those events are entirely separate things in this framework.
Section 5. Ranh giới lượng tử chuyển. Standard quantum boundaries.
Before we wrap up, we need to establish some strict scientific boundaries, like a bold warning sign, so everyone understands the exact scope of what we've learned today. First, this framework does not replace standard quantum mechanics. Why? Because it doesn't change how atoms decay or how wave functions interact. It merely gives us a cleaner, more logical way to talk about who or what has recorded that decay. Second, the observer is an objective recording system, like a camera sensor or a Geiger counter. It is not a mystical human consciousness that dictates reality by looking at things. And third, and this is the absolute biggest takeaway, lack of information is not physics. Just because a system's registration state is unupdated, you cannot use that to claim the physical world is in a macroscopic superposition. We have built a strict architectural firewall here between what happens physically and what is recorded as data.
As we wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with a fun, provocative question to chew on.
Lần tới khi bạn nhận được tin nhắn, bạn sẽ là người quan sát lượng tử chứ?
Next time you get a text message, but you leave it unread on your lock screen, will you be a quantum observer shaping reality, or are you just someone whose personal registration layer simply hasn't updated yet? The physical universe is constantly happening all around us, whether we are personally looking at it or not. Observation doesn't change the physical reality of the system, it just updates our knowledge of it. So stay curious, keep separating your physical facts from your information logs, and I will catch you next time we unravel another mystery.